Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Blessing. If this is your first time coming on this channel, you're welcome. We put out videos every week, okay? So if you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of my videos. On today's video, we're going to be talking about ABGs. I love calculating arterial blood gases, ABGs for short. And I use the Tic Tac Toe method. I find this the easiest, the simplest. I feel like you can never go wrong with this method, so come along as I show you how I do it, okay? So as we all know, we have our pH, we have the PCO2, we have the HCO3, and we have the PO2. So the normal range for our pH, I'm just going to write that down here. When you get into the exam, this is something I always do because you don't want to forget. So first thing here, acid. Then you come here and then you write base. Okay, so here you write your pH, and we know that our pH is from 7.35 to 7.45. In the middle here, I like putting 7.40 because we know that this is the optimal range that the pH should be at. So that's for the pH, and I'm going to come here and write the PCO2. We know that this one is from, actually it's supposed to be 35 to 45, but we know the higher the PCO2, the more acidic it is. So I'm gonna put the 45 here. Okay, now I'm gonna write HCO3. We know that this is from 22 to 26. So if it's less than 22, it's acidic, and if it's greater than 26, it's basic. Okay, and then we know that our O2 norm is 80. So we'll go ahead and solve this question now. Let me just change the color of my pen. I'm going to make this a little smaller so we could have more space. Okay, so for your tic-tac-toe, you simply just draw the tic-tac-toe game. Okay, and then here you want to write acid, norm, base. So what is this? I'm gonna bring this closer so we could always go back to it. Okay, so it says 7.48. 7.48 is towards the basic range here, as you can see. So we want to come here to write pH 7.48, and then PCO2 is 32. Remember, this is 35 to 45. So if it's 32, it's towards the basic range. So we want to come here and write PCO2 32. Okay, and then our HCO3 is 29, which is also towards the basic range, as you can see here. So we'll come here and then write HCO3 29. This is what we call mixed reaction, because everything here is practically basic. We'll come here and write mixed reaction. Whenever we have mixed reaction, there is no compensation. Okay, and is the O2 abnormal or normal? It's obviously abnormal O2 because it's less than 80. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. So we want to draw our tic-tac-toe again. Acid, norm, base. And then 7.21, if you look over here, it's acidic. So we'll write that here, pH 7.21. Our PCO2 is 38, which is within the range here. So we'll put that there as normal, 38. And then our HCO3 is 19, which is acidic. So you want to write HCO3 19. The first thing you want to look at in any interpretation is the pH. If the pH is acidic, know that our answer is going to be something about dash acidosis, right? You look at the pH first. After looking at the pH, then you look at whatever falls under acidosis. In this case, it is our HCO3, which is the metabolic. So it's going to be metabolic acidosis. If reverse was the case, and let's say this was our PCO2, it would have been respiratory acidosis. Okay, now I'm going to show you another example. For example, if our pH was in the basic side and we had our PCO2 on this same side, that is gonna make it respiratory alkalosis, because first of all you pick the pH. Let's move on to the next example. So the answer to this one first is, remember, we look at the pH is under acidosis over here. Then we look at the HCO2, which is also under acidosis. So that's gonna be metabolic acidosis. Is there compensation? There is no compensation, because if the PCO2 over here was compensating, it should be on the basic side, meaning while the kidney is acidic, the PCO2 over here should be trying to let out carbon dioxide with the lungs. Since it's under the norm, then it's not compensating. So we're going to write here no compensation and then abnormal O2. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to make this smaller and I'm going to erase this one. Let's move on to the next one over here. Let's draw our Tic Tac Toe acid norm base. Okay, so let's look at our pH first. It's acidic, as you can see right here. Let me just clean this so it could be more. It's acidic, so we'll come here to write pH 7.29. This is 34, which is more on the basic side. As you can see, it's less than 35 over here. So we want to come here to say PCO2 34. Now we look at our HCO3. HCO3 is 21, which is towards the acid side. Okay, so we'll come here to say HCO3 21. Perfect. So if you can see here, looking at this, right, we know that this is metabolic acidosis. So first we look at our pH dash acidosis, and then we have the HCO3 here, meaning that's gonna be metabolic acidosis. Okay, now is there compensation? Yes, that was exactly what I was telling you over here. There is compensation here because the PCO2 is on the basic side, but it is just partial compensation. And why is it partial compensation instead of full compensation? It is only full compensation if the pH is within normal range, meaning it is only full compensation if the pH is between 7.35 to 7.45. Okay, and obviously our pH is not within normal range. So what's the answer to this one? Metabolic acidosis, partial comp, abnormal PCO2 because it's 71. Okay, so I'm gonna make this smaller again so we could have space for the next one. We're on a roll, guys. Let's keep on going. So you want to draw out your tic-tac-toe table. Acid, norm, base. So we have our pH here 7.52, which is basic, as we can see here. So we'll come here to write pH 7.52. We have our PCO2, which is 31, and you can see that is also basic because it's less than 35. So PCO2 31, and then we have our HCO3, which is 24. Guess what? That is between normal range. 24 is somewhere hiding here. Okay, let me just erase that. So we'll write our HCO3. HCO3 is 24. Now remember, first of all, we are looking at the pH, right? It's basic. So it's going to be dash alkalosis. Now we look at this one. What is this? This points to respiratory. Okay, so guys, wherever you see, I'm just going to write this out. Wherever you see the PCO2, it stands for respiratory. And wherever you see this one, it stands for metabolic. Okay, and depending on if it is in the basic side, that's going to be alkalosis. And if it's in the acidic side, that's going to be acidosis. Okay, so in this case, that is respiratory alkalosis. Now we have to check if there is compensation. Guys, there is no compensation because this HCO3 is not on the acidic side. If it was compensating, see here, our lungs is blowing off too much CO2. The kidney here should have been compensating by holding on to acids, but it's not compensating. It's just normal, as you can see. So we'll come here to write respiratory alkalosis, no comp, abnormal O2. Okay, now let's move on to the final question. I'm just gonna draw this one here. Remember the drill: acid, norm, base. Okay, so 7.47 here. Let's see, that is basic. So pH 7.47, PCO2 47, PCO2 47. You see that that is higher than 45, so that is acidic. Okay, and then our HCO3 is 32, so we see that that is on the basic side. HCO3 32. HCO3 is 32 and that is on the basic side. Okay, so we come here to write our HCO3 32. Now remember, the pH is on the basic side, meaning it's going to be dash alkalosis. So this, we look at this one to determine what type of alkalosis it is, and that is metabolic alkalosis. Is there compensation? Yes, because the PCO2 is on the acidic side. So we'll come here to say metabolic alkalosis, but it is partial compensation because the pH is not within normal range. If the pH was here, somewhere here, normal range, it's going to be full compensation. But in this case, it's partial abnormal O2. Yep, and that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that was helpful. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, remember, the pH is what we look at first. The pH kind of determines if it's acidic or alkalotic. Okay, if the pH is in the acidic range, then we look at whatever falls under the acidic range as well. For example, if the pH was 7.21, which is on the acidic side, we look at the PCO2 is like maybe 57, right? We see that that is also on the acidic range. Then we look at the HCO3. The HCO3 is maybe like 32. That's on the basic range. Now, the pH and the PCO2 are both on the acidic range. So what does that mean? That is going to be dash acidosis. First, look at the pH. Then first, when we see that, okay, well, this pH is acidosis, whatever falls under the acidotic range as the pH is kind of what we pay attention to. Now, our CO2 is the one on that range, meaning it's going to be respiratory acidosis. Wherever you see the PCO2, you just know that that is for respiratory. That is like when something is going on with your lungs. And wherever you see the HCO3, you know that that is for the metabolic side of things. Are we following? All right, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope that was helpful for you. If you have easier ways to remember this, please leave comments in the comment section. We'll be watching and we'll be learning from you. If you found this video helpful, give this video a thumbs up. Kindly subscribe to my channel as well to encourage me so I could put out more videos, and kindly share this with your classmates, your friends, and everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.